What if all those parts of yourself that you were ashamed of, that you kept hidden, that you weren't sure people would like about you, are the very things that make you amazing? And I've been coming to this realization that there are parts of me that I've always felt like, oh, this isn't cool. I need to be more of this or that. And I'm realizing, like, stop doing that. Like, we need to stop doing that to ourselves, making ourselves feel like somehow we're not enough unless we fit this certain description and this certain way of being that somehow society around us has taught us is the only way to be. And, for a long time, I was ashamed of that. Like, I liked boy things. Like, I was not a girly girl. Like, I liked hanging out with guys and, you know, I liked to play with cars and stuff like that as a kid. And somehow, the environment I was raised in, I was taught that, femininity means being quiet and meek and agreeable. And I learned how to do that so well, but that is not who I am at a soul level. Like, I'm not quiet and meek and agreeable. And I was made to feel ashamed of if I wanted to express my opinion. And I don't necessarily think that that's a masculine thing. It's just that I was taught to think it was a masculine thing because only men are allowed to make decisions. They're the final decision makers. And it got to the point where it was like I was allowing other people to dictate who I was. Like, to the point where if I had any independent thoughts, I was scared to death of them. I was scared to death of having an independent thought because, God forbid you have independent thinking. That means you are just not humble. You're not modest, and you're trying to go ahead of God. And I couldn't help but think it's like we were given a brain for a reason so that we could reason out things and think through things. And especially not to allow other people to dictate to us what to think. So it has been interesting for me to think about how all these things have shaped who I was as a person, and now I'm becoming a different person, a person who thinks for herself and a person who reasons upon things. And it doesn't mean that I'm not open to other people's thoughts or suggestions. It means that I take responsibility for my own thinking and I examine it. I don't just take things at face value. And another thing is, I don't always see thinking through things as a positive thing. I think that we put so much value on the brain and on our thinking capability. And I know I've done that a lot in the past, and I'm realizing like how much I relied on my thinking and I ignored what my body was telling me, what my spirit was telling me, to the point where it was like I ignored when my body was basically screaming at me, telling me that there was something wrong. That was because I was like so numb. I had numbed myself to the point where those things had no type of influence on me until my body was like screaming at me. I honestly feel like that's how I ended up with breast cancer. I didn't have a healthy relationship with my body, and I think it manifested disease because I wasn't listening to it. I wasn't listening to my heart. So it's come to me that this is the year about me exploring my mind, my heart, my body, and my spirit, and that connection, and listening to it intuitively, listening to the little nudges I get when I need to take a step back from something or someone, the little nudges I get when I need to address something or move my body or eat a certain thing or sleep. These are the things that I am relearning because I'm finally getting into that place of feeling safe within my own body because I've been healing my nervous system. And I feel like that is the crux of it right there. When you're able to attend to yourself and heal your nervous system, you know, and there's different ways of doing that. There's yoga, somatic movement, meditation, massage. I've done acupuncture. There's so many different ways for, you know, different people. Sound healing. But the point is, I've gotten to the point where I have recognized, like, these are the things that I need to do to create a cohesive feeling of health and vitality. And I think that spills over into other aspects. If I can focus on my inner self and on my body as a whole, then I can create health and a sense of vitality within myself, and that's going to spill out into other aspects of my life. And so this being laid off is, I feel like, the last piece of a part of me that I knew I wasn't being completely authentic. I was in a system that I didn't really fit into, and so that was another component for me for it to be swept away, for me to be removed from it and have space to myself, like completely to myself, where I was no longer having to manage things that were sapping me of my energy and managing people, and be in a space of within my own container. And as I heal, I feel like that container is growing, and it is opening up a space for me to then, I feel, to start sharing with other people and expressing myself as I go along this journey. So I feel like I've been doing that more and more because I just feel like it's important. You know, I feel like we all have a voice and we don't always use it in the best ways. And I know I haven't in the past. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of times in the future where I will not always use my voice in the best way. But this is me trying. This is me putting myself out there, and you know, whatever comes of it, I'm here for the journey. And I've recognized that I've created safety within myself, so I can open myself up to new experiences and to allowing the universe to surprise me. And so, yeah, we'll see how it goes.